Ah, I'm live. Okay, let's see what I can do about this. Okay, well, I am live. Wow. I got a whole bunch of lessons. So, a whole bunch. I'm really hoping that the connection Microsoft recommends. Okay, I'll do that later. So, had quite a day, to be honest. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but the first is, oops, my back. There we go. This is the vision book. This is the you could possibly think of. It is in Khmer and it's in Thai. It's in Yoruba because I am proud of my Yoruba roots. It's in Yoruba. I can just show you like maybe the first page of it. It's in Espanol. My book is in Khmer. Oh, of course, like obviously the book is in English too. Hello. The book is Yoruba, Khmer. Oh, wait, let me show you. It's in Thai. It's in Lao. Okay, here is Khmer. Oops. There you go. So it took a bit of time. I'm sure, as you can all tell, like every single language that the book is written in. Oh, I'm sorry. This is in Khmer. This is in Lao. And mucho, eh? Mucho. Thai, Lao, Yoruba. What else? Oh, I forgot Vietnamese. I forgot. I also did it in Vietnamese. So I have 7 languages in this book, and so this master copy is available, and so kind of taking care of that right now. So I want to go over a lot of the stuff. I hope if you guys can just let me. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay, wait. It's stuck on my hair too. Oh no. Okay, wait. Okay, we're gonna have to just. There we go. So let's just say I've been moving around a whole bunch today, and it's been like that. So I'm going to move pretty quickly through some of this stuff. I want to share with you guys who are writing, who have been writing, who are in different stages of writing, who it's just been like, right. But to hold a physical book in your hands is like, my baby! Oh my God, this is my baby! So I want to go over some of the things that have really shaped where I've come and what this second book, like publishing this second book in 7 languages, has really taught me. So the first thing is the dedication. I don't want to say a huge mistake. I'm going to do number 9, or I think it's number 10 first. Okay, so I think it was Richard Branson. I'm not exactly sure who said this. Yeah, I believe it was Richard Branson. He said that starting again doesn't mean that you haven't learned anything from failure. When you start over again, it just means that you have more experience, right? And you have a lot more knowledge. So I'm coming with that mentality in this second book, okay? Woo! Because like it's just been a lot. Let's just go over every single point first, and then we'll go and attack all of them. The first was dedication. Number 2, the second one was not everyone's going to congratulate you, or just people in general, how people start acting. You know what I mean? So having a physical copy of the completed book is, to me, the best step. I feel like I had held on many copies in the past. We're going to get to that, okay? Number 6, the journey getting here is a lot just to get and hold the published version of the book, just holding it, to smell every page, just to like see, just to see it in print is just kind of like, it's huge, right? Again, number 7 is what I was harping on about number 1. A failure and starting again after failure is not really failing. It's just coming back with more experience. So number 8, this is like, okay, like, Ren, what you talking about, girl? So keeping quiet is a bit hard. So most of us do build in silence. I don't talk to really, okay, I mean, it was really hard for me to keep quiet about the book that I was building. I think a lot of times, okay, anyway, we'll go through each point and then I'll like expand on it, okay? And then the next is the postpartum depression. I honestly feel like I could make an entire video about every single one of these points, but there's just so much to talk about and we want to get through other things. And as we're all building different things, of course, nobody's sharing anything. We're just kind of like, but bam. So let's get to the first one. The dedication page, the dedication. So this one's a bit kind of like, okay. So last book, my first book, I was so appreciative. I had really come from like, I had come up really. I mean, I had done this first book, zero budge. I mean, I'm talking like my budget was, I was working at Jimmy John's and whatever I was getting as additional money on the side, I was pouring into, I was bartending, everything that I could do to try to get in any class that I could. I was using all of that to develop my education. And I found a lot of amazing resources for people who like to write. For example, Hugo House in Seattle, Washington. I have some not so good experiences, which you could see that, and some really positive ones. And just creating a body. Like, you know, when we're a part of a group, this is a body of people. So it's always nice to have a peer, a congregation, people who have actually walked in those steps and just like really feeling understood in that aspect of building it yourself or building that business or building that idea or letting that creative piece come to fruition. That is like the creme de la creme. So I had like $0 like investing into everything. I was like, it was hard, but I wasn't really thinking about how hard it was. I was just like so excited that to be able to teach myself something new. So fast forward, I was just so appreciative of everything. I dedicated the book to everybody who could possibly breathe. And I actually wrote that, like, I had a long list of all these people. Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so this part number 1 actually ties into part number 2. So people, not everyone's going to congratulate you, especially it might even be the people that you dedicate the book to. Sometimes you don't even expect them to read it. Like, when I said, okay, actually, there's too many of you. If you think this book is dedicated to you, it is. And I mean, there were so many people who helped me, the people who fixed my laptop, the people who I got bubble tea from every day. There was a place at University of Washington called the Cafe on the Ave. And so I would go there and I would write really late into the night. And I just loved it. So there was so many people, but sometimes you're thinking, wow, I really want to continue. Like, I just want to help it. I just want to like thank everyone because these people were really supportive of me. Now, in the part 2 of the people, not everyone's going to congratulate you. This is also mixed with, seeing, okay, let me just preface it by saying this, okay? Envy and jealousy is a spiritual disease. So a lot of people might even congratulate you, but they're not congratulating you in the way that you want. Okay, how do I say this? Okay, so what I mean by this is some people will smile in your face and then do things about behind your back. Some people you show, hey, I dedicated this book to you, and hey, I'm actually in the process of writing it. They'll see when you post something on your social media that it's the physical piece is out there, not a congratulations, nothing. Where everybody else is kind of like, why are strangers congratulating me? And like, should I say thank you? I've been building this quietly and now I'm bringing it out. And people are going to act super strange. This is like, I mean, this is why I'm even going to get into number 8 about keeping quiet. But it's people are going to start acting super strange or like, oh, so fire. And then you just, there's, we'll get to that later. Okay. But what I'm talking about now is the people around us, and everything is actually interconnected with one another, which is why it's so important for me to share this. For those of you beginning to write, for those who have written, for those who are still in the process of writing and you're not sharing this with a lot of people, I want to encourage you, keep your mouth shut. So yes, I know I keep harping on this book called Start Finishing, and Charlie Gilkey recommends telling everybody around you, hey, you know what? You need to tell people that you're doing this. Now, for me, it was only the people in my vision pack. I did not share anything but the people that were going to benefit from it. I did tell one person, and the day that I posted, she didn't say anything. And in my head, I was like, that was kind of cold. This is the first thing you're going to start to notice in section number 2 about people. People are really happy until they see that you are actually serious about coming up. So this is just a reminder for most of you guys, okay? So number 3, marketing is just as hard, if not harder, than writing the book itself. So when I first started, the first thing that happens is you're just so happy. Even when I printed out the book to even like make edits to do other forms of writing, I was like, oh my gosh. I held this thing. I went to a free printing store from my first book, of course, something to show for it, Freedom, Faith, and Enlightenment with a one-way ticket to Mexico and $200. And I was just so like, I cried to hold a living, breathing document of several pages. I mean, this was even from something called NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. So you just eliminate your inner critic and you just write. I have tons of videos about that, so you can go and check that out. There's 2 different camps that you're able to do, and they're about 6-7 months apart, maybe 8. I think June or July is in Camp NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, and then November is the big one where everybody all over the world has like parties, writing parties, and there's nothing like it. It's like, oh my God, this is alcohol. It's like that. So the marketing aspect, I had nothing about it. I mean, I just was like, okay, the only marketing strategy I know is I'm going to KDP this sucker. That for those of you starting to write, this is a platform on Amazon. So when you put your book on Kindle, direct publishing, they reunited CreateSpace, which was where the physical book was, and then where the digital book was, now into one website. So if you do Kindle Direct Publishing Select, then you will find that you can have all, 1, higher royalties, and 2, you will be able to market your book in a different way that you were not able to do if you had sold your book on your website. So you can only put it on Kindle or Amazon for about 3 months, and then you could pull it anywhere else. But during those 3 months' time, you can give your book away. You could offer it at a lower discount. And so how KDP works is every single person that continues reading each page, you get paid every single time somebody picks up the book, as opposed to just like they have the physical book and that's it. So you can offer giveaways. You can give it away for free, or you can give it away at a lower discount. Something like 35 or 70% royalties you'll get, it, depending on how you select how you want the royalties to be given to you. I know it's kind of a bit of a daunting task, but there's amazing people who can help you launch the marketing aspect. This is almost like a 6 to 9 month trajectory. It might even take longer, especially if you're just somebody kind of coming in and everyone's like, well, who's that? And you're building in a lot of different avenues. It's going to take some time for the channels to happen, but this is a marathon, right? This is not a race. It's really not a race. So let's get to number 4. Not everyone you send your book to is going to read it. Back to the whole dedication page, right? So as you're marketing or even just like sharing it before you give it to your friends, okay, marketing. Maybe it's even your friends. Hey, you have an Amazon account? Please read this and post a small review so it can help me out. Oh, it was great. I read it. And you're like, you don't have to lie, bro. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to say you read it if you know you didn't even pick up a single page or you read the first 3. I mean, like, you ain't got to lie about it. But that's it's just be prepared for that. Or for people to be like, oh, I read it. It's so great. It's a motivation. And you're like, but did you read like 4 pages of it? Because every page has an exercise. So sometimes you're going to get like that. But yes, let me explain this book while I'm like kind of like saying what you might encounter. So this vision book, I have a lot of clients. We have, I do a lot of exercises all over the world. And a lot of the people from the countries where I have been doing these exercises have really inspired me and through my own self-growth as well. So on every page and every part of the book, you're going to find exercises on every single page. From one where you're writing your inspiring success story, which is actually you just sharing some of your ugliest moments. One, not to just like tell people how awesome you are, but sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And when you remind yourself, hey, whoa, I went through that. Like where I'm going now, this is really nothing compared to the eating disorder I went through, to the sexual assault I went through, to being broke that I went through, to not having like a job. I mean, there's a lot of things that everybody goes through. So one example is having an inspiring success story. The next is going all the way. It's really short. It's like seriously 50 something pages. So it was really nice to be able to introduce this to all of the groups of people, because sometimes I found it was really hard to communicate because I've lived in these countries, but I would have to translate it or reach out to a friend. And now in this, we can all do these exercises together. So every single page has something from, kind of understanding who are the people that you want to build in a tribe. And it's so important because with COVID happening right now and the Rona, I don't want to get flagged, my gosh, for saying that word. So for all of the stuff that's kind of upcoming, I want to be able to offer us what is this vision. I've shared this before with you guys. What is coming is so big. I mean, you really don't understand the amount of finances, the amount of currency, the amount of ideas that are going to start flooding into you in the next few years. Now, a lot of people are going to squander it. Some people are just going to go out and buy a Ferrari, and that's okay. But every billionaire that's cars, for example, Kevin O'Leary, for example, like there's a lot of people who say, you know what, as somebody who has more money than I can like think about, I don't purchase cars. I mean, my car is so undervalued. So it's okay if you do that with some of those things, if that's your deal. But for people who are ready to have a vision and for lifelong, for generational long seeds for the rest of your children's children, for generational wealth, there's a lot of stuff we got to clear out. Blockages, generational curses, ideas about yourself, limiting beliefs, and instill others, kind of like, what is money? How can I create not just some sort of finance for myself, but how can I secure a big, not just nest egg, but like huge hidden Easter eggs for my children and their children's 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 children. So we go through a lot. We go through inner child work. We go through, I mean, this is just 44 pages of just like a lot. So I'm so happy. I'm just like, honestly, I'm really bubbly about this because I just like, I'm so happy. I'm able to communicate with a lot of people. And this started, anyway, it started a lot. It started when I was in Asia, and then I was doing a lot of my first real consistent clients. One was from the United States while I was living in Vietnam, and the other was a Vietnamese couple. And this was how I was teaching them English, was I was giving them work to do to help build the relationships, and so they could understand what it is that they were doing with each other, and able to communicate ideas, because this is how we speak languages, right? And as somebody who's learning 7, 8, I don't know, so many, it's important for me to be able to make sure that we are all sharing the same ideas. So that is the vision book. And currently it's only available in Spanish and English online, but yeah, you know, hey, we got a master copy right here, and the other versions are printed in their languages. So you'll find either a bilingual copy or the multilingual copy, or just Spanish or English. Okay, so that is number 4 and 5. 5 was about holding the physical copy, and I'm just like, yeah, hey, baby. I'm excited about that. And so the journey getting here is a lot. That's number 6. I mean, my God. I don't know how many of you have gone through this journey. I mean, even when I look at young children, there's a kid I met when I was living in Seattle, Jade, and he just warmed up my heart because God placed it on my heart to do this. And when I saw young children just doing it with ease, I'm writing a book, bop, bop, bop. He has a little stapler. Here you go. It's published. And he was so cool. He did it without any hesitation. I asked him for an autograph. I was like, please, will you sign my arm? Because like, I think you're so amazing. And this is what we want to do to instill ourselves. But when we grow up, we've been whipped with so much of other people's doubt that we put so much energy and this idea of perfectionism into it, and wanting to really do our creative idea justice, because we're interpreting what it is that we've been given. And it's like, okay, how can I present this to the world? And however it turns out is that's just kind of how it turns out, right? So the journey getting here is hard. I mean, it's several nights. I mean, I cannot say that it was I mean, there was nights where I really went through a lot of stress and nail picking and wanting her to come out a certain way, but then understanding that art is art and she is her own living, breathing entity. I can't force an idea on her. She's going to be how she turns out. The journey getting here through your relationships was hard. The time you put in was hard. I mean, it doesn't mean it wasn't fun. Like, working out is hard, but it's still amazing, right? It's like, it's nice. It's hard because you're sweating. It's hard because each rep kind of burns after the last one, when your legs are shaking, or your stomach can't take it, or your arms are like, oh my gosh. So it's like that. So we understand that, it's something to be proud of yourself. So the next 2, because we talked about the failure piece, number 8 and 9 was keeping quiet is a bit hard. You guys, it was a time I completely disconnected from everyone. So I was on the beach, and the writing part of this book was so nice. The writing part was amazing. I mean, honestly, I can say that I feel I probably wrote the book in about 2 hours, like the bulk of the book. Just kind of like, oh yeah, and this and this and this. And I thought, wow, this is that's great. I mean, when I look at some of these exercises, I'm like, dang, that's hard. This is a really good book. Whoa, I wrote it. That's like, this really stretched me a lot. And just different forms and different ways really stretched me a lot. And so wanting to kind of share that with other people, or just be like, yeah, I'm doing this, it's hard. But this was a moment for me to really kind of disconnect. I was writing two books at the exact same time, because National Novel Writing Month is just me to just have fun. So I just have an idea, and then I'm a pantser, what they call it, just going and writing by the seat of my pants. Ooh, I'm going to write this. I'm going to write this, using different prompts that come up in NaNoWriMo. Throw your characters a party. One person gets betrayed. So it's just getting like writing by the seat of your pants. It doesn't really make sense, but it's always fun to just like sit back in the seat of consciousness and watch all of the ideas kind of like come to life. That is just like super cool. But in some parts of it, I realized I had told like 2 or 3 people, and I didn't want them asking about it, because sometimes it goes really well and you just want to kind of keep quiet. Or somebody sees you and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really stressed out right now. What's going on? Oh, okay, nothing. But you're like, I'm writing my book. Like, I don't have time for you, in a mean way, but like, I want to be with that which is tugging me, the inspiration that's asking me to go and be with it right now. So it's hard because it's exciting. But this is going to tie into number 9. The postpartum depression is real. So I don't know how many of you watched The Chosen. Dallas Jenkins is he's just amazing. There's times where he is very vulnerable about his experience, and he talked about how he had been from high hopes to box office failure in a matter of moments, and his career just ended like that. And so this was how The Chosen became so large. And The Chosen is a story about Jesus. He's not, and actually the picking of the disciples. So how they became chosen. And so just really understanding the life of Christ through the chosen ones, and how they're all so weird and unique and different. And we just got to get used to different. But everybody is just perfectly made. Anyway, so understanding that there was a depression, like you put a lot of energy into this, and all of a sudden once it's released, there's kind of a moment where you're like, you feel like Dallas. There might be a party, you might go to a few celebrations, but at the end, it's just kind of like graduating. I have a YouTube video about that called Congratulations, Graduates. And I had prepared myself for what my first release of the book was going to be like. Okay, it may look like this. It may be just that. It may be that it might be a little hard. It might just be just that. Not what I expect. I mean, this is kind of what happened when I graduated from undergrad. Everybody else had kind of ideas, internships, where they were going to go. Thank God, though. I mean, like, who could you imagine me being super corporate? I mean, I did work. I had like 2 different internships in the same year. I was working 2 jobs. I had 2 internships, one in the music industry, one in the insurance industry. I was in a play. I was writing my senior thesis, and I still wanted to take on more. But the postpartum depression that happened after I graduated was kind of like, oh my gosh, all that energy just happened. Now what? And it's not a fear of like, well, now what? It's a weird kind of emptiness. I want you guys to prepare for that. And you can't actually be prepared. You can intellectualize it. Yes, I know. It's not going to be like she said. And everybody kind of like is kind of like a known, and not even a secret, but something a lot of authors, we share this with each other. It's like, it's just you expect something to be a little different, but it's not as different as you think. It's just kind of like a thing you did. And then it's like, it's exciting, but this is kind of the point of building. It's something to leave behind and like already be on to your next step. Like, don't worry so much about the marketing. And like Dallas shares, sometimes it's just your job to provide the loaves and the fish, the loaves of bread and the fish, and let God do what God says, what is instructed. Okay, you told me to do this, here you go. And depending on what your relationship is, right? Because let's be honest, every single thing that you pump out, whether it's a song, whether it's a book, whether it's a piece of art, is spiritual. So if it's a play, if it's a movie, I mean, you're getting the point. It's a spiritual experience. So when this has come to a stage, it becomes kind of like, oh my God. Okay. The creative side is fun, and then some people are more administrative. So the admin parts of picking every color, that can be fun. But then when it comes to layout of each page, it's like, maybe you begin to lose your personality and you become a little more cranky. And this is what I mean by writing. It's hard. It's every step is it's a different step. There's a stage in every part of it. And so I wish you the best. I really do. And I'm so happy that you guys are tuning in and you're going to, either you're learning about the experience so you can, as you're going through different stages, you can kind of prepare for it, or you're in it, or you've come to different levels, but there's parts of it that you remember a little bit more clearly than others. So for that, wow, I really need water because I have been chatting. It's been 32:24. All right, but really quick before I go, Ezekiel, let me see. Okay, yeah. So I even wrote a really beautiful experience of what it was like for me receiving the day that I received my master copy of my book. So I am just treasuring this, and I want you guys, when you get some time in your reflections, do the same thing. Just do the same. Okay, so I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really look forward to meeting you guys and doing some of these works. I cannot speak. Some of these activities in person. So again, this is called the Vision Book, El Libro de la Visión. It's in Thai, Khmer, Vietnamese, Lao, Yoruba, English, y Espanol. I wish you guys the best. I really look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.